What is going on, guys? PCT here and welcome back to a whole new video. And today we're going to be talking about the latest installment, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Now, I've been enjoying this game ever since it's been released, and I feel like there's a lot of good things about this game. And the last installment was Hollow Realization, and I did enjoy that game. Put in 200 plus hours into that game, and I feel like this game really got some things down that I really enjoyed. But at the same time, it also has its own problems that I feel like it should be addressed in the next patch or next DLC, maybe even in an update or something, just to fix it up. The game is not bad. I do sincerely enjoy it. It's really great, and there's a lot of things that I really did enjoy about this game, but there are some things that really need to be addressed, and I feel like it could really help out the game tremendously. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna first start off with the good and the bad things about this game. But first of all, I'm going to start off with the good things, and I've got a lot to say that I feel like they've gotten down right. Now, let's start off with the gunplay. Boy, oh boy, I love the gunplay. It's really good. It's smooth. It's there. It gives you that good feeling as when you're running around, you have that opportunity to fight back from a really good amount of distance, and each gun has its own range, firepower, its own strength and weaknesses. I enjoy that, and each of the gun depends on the stats that you are able to use. Like, for example, I had this one sniper rifle that I really couldn't use until I had a certain amount of stats, maybe like more strength and dex, to increase the opportunity to use that gun. And each of the stats has its own perks that is able to increase the gameplay much more better for you, and giving it more of a feel like you're using it for a good purpose. Like, unlike other games, it's like some of the stats that you use don't even affect the game itself, and it's just there for like an illusion, or like just there just to be there, just to give more like an MMO vibe. And I feel like the stats in this game fits perfectly because it gives you the choice of using which style you want to play as. Maybe even just SMGs, assault, maybe even just heavy weapons, ranged weapons, or all of them at once. It's something that I feel like every game should have. You are able to combine two different types of weapons and use two different types of primary, and this is how it should be done, unlike how Destiny 2 did it. There's other things that I did sincerely enjoy about this game, and that is the character creation. The character creation is spot on. Be able to customize your character from the head to the toe. You're able to customize the weight limit of the character. If you're playing as a female, the bust, the legs, the arms, the hands, the head, everything. And from a male, the same thing, besides the busting. But the character creation is free. You are able to freely create your character any way you want it to look, and each has its own style, having its own unique feel. You're playing as your created character. As for me, my character, her name is Lana, who was first introduced into VR MMO. The first game she first started off with is Gun Gale Online, bringing her with her childhood friend Correa, who has just gotten you into the game and bringing you into this reality, into this virtual reality that she has never touched in her life. And you are the first time heading into climbing up the ranks, becoming the top player, and fighting to be the best player. The game has a really good storyline, and I really did enjoy it. It's better than what Destiny had, and it's better what the Division had, and it's also focused on loot as well. Each of the guns have its own perks, its own stat, making you have different types of gun with different types of loot, or like different types of perks. Each loot, each duplicate you get feels rewarding and feels like you want to keep because it has a different perk, different style to use in order to gain more of an upper hand. You can also take these guns into multiplayer, face-off players with the exact same guns you have, and actually give the opportunity to fight. But I feel like the multiplayer thing really needs a bit more of an adjustment, and I'll get to that later on in the video. But I do also want to talk about is the world itself. The world is beautiful. It's not as big as Hollow Realization, but it's spot on. It looks beautiful, beautiful to the eye. Be able to have all these things to do, but at the same time, it feels really, really small. I was able to find all 5 chests in like half an hour. Not even, maybe like in 10 minutes, I was able to find all chests because of how small the world feels. Well, at first, the first world feels so small. As in later worlds, it starts being a bit bigger. It feels a bit more bigger, but it just doesn't feel right. As a part what did Hollow Realization, I kind of feel like it's best to have loading screens and worlds connected with each other to feel unique, to feel big, to give the illusion that you're living in this big, gigantic world filled with players and filled with things to do, enemies to fight, things to explore, things to find. But in this game, it doesn't have that. It has this world, this big, beautiful world with small parts that you're able to only explore, and in order to gain to the next world, you have to go to this dungeon in order to go through just to proceed to the next world. And it's something that I don't feel like it should do. It feels like, I feel like each dungeon should just feel like a dungeon. Just a thing, a place to explore, find loot, and fight badass enemies. And I feel like it needs a bit more of an adjustment, maybe a bit of an expansion of the world. Now, I did love a lot of things about this game, but there's also a lot of things that really grabs me and really gives me a grudge when it comes to games like this, and that is the AI units in this game. I really do not like the AI units in this game. It's really painful to be playing with them, as a part that each of them feels dumber than the other. I have different types of AIs with different types of style and fighting styles. Like, I have Leafa with me, who is able to use a sword and an assault rifle, and then I have this other girl called Lena, who has SMGs and a grenade launcher or something like that. And then we have Kirito, who has dual wielding with a pistol and a sword. And I feel like each of them has his own fighting style, but they're dumb. Like, really dumb. They can't aim for themselves that well. Each of their guns deal a little bit of damage, and they're playing out stupid when it comes to like having to fight for themselves. I am there fighting in an area, for example. I reach up to this place where there's a treasure chest inside of a room, and then I am fighting these enemies because it was a trap. It was 2 swordsmen, or should say 2 robot enemies with pistols, who took me down in 2 to 3 hits, and then my AIs are on the outside of the door, each of them spawning in one at a time, losing the battle and getting killed instantly, and I was the exact same level as the enemy. And it feels so unfair with how dumb these enemy AIs, or say your helpers are. Don't get me started with the AI units, the enemy's AIs, which is meaning that whenever they shoot, each of the bullet line that lands on you and they start shooting you, every bullet hits you. Especially when you're being overrun by so much enemies, and it really causes an unfair advantage towards you and giving you and making you want to give up out of frustration of how angry you can get with these things. Now, apart from the AIs and apart from the world itself, I feel like there should also be a little bit more tweaking in the PvP section, meaning with the PvP players, or say PvP player AIs, because it doesn't feel like a proper PvP, but you're actually fighting other AIs who is when you're trying to fight, there's other enemies AIs chasing you too. That was up to this point where I was fighting this one guy, and then it was like this other 5 or 6 bees chasing me, and then these scorpions coming out of nowhere and attacking me from all directions, and the other guy was right in front of me, fighting me too, giving me an unfair advantage, and I'm there rolling around, trying to fight, trying to kill everything, and I have to be using my assistant mode to just fight them. And that's another thing that should be changed. Please give us in the settings to give it the customization to turn it off, the bullet circle, because Lord, I don't like the assist mode. I enjoy using my own aiming skills to fight instead of using the computer to aim for me and shoot for me. And while I shoot, I don't like that. Please add in the settings to change that. I would really much appreciate it, and it would really help me out a lot. Apart from that, there are some things that really need to be addressed as soon as possible when it comes to games like this, and there's a lot of things that can be fixed. The AI units, the guns itself could use a bit more tweaking, but it's really smooth. I do enjoy it. It's not such a big deal. The online cooperative missions could also use an update. I am playing an online session, maybe with a couple friends. I'm fighting some monsters, but the thing is, that's it. You're basically just in the game fighting monsters that you already fought in the single player section. You can be able to fight in online. I feel like it should be better to actually have maybe things to do around the world. You have this huge world you want to explore, but you only be limited just to fight bosses, and it's something that I feel like should be addressed. Now there's going to be a lot of people saying out there, all his skills, that maybe this game is too hard for you, but no, it needs a lot of things that need to be fixed in this game, and I feel like the one thing that needs to be fixed is the AIs. That's the biggest majority thing I feel like they need to fix and expand the world a bit more, because I don't like it. I personally do not like the world itself. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I love it the way how it looks, but it just feels too small. Like there's barely anything to do, barely anything to even search for. Let's take for example the Old South. It's just a square world. A square world of a city. How would you call that a city? It looks more like a village than a city. Because a village is supposed to be that small, while a city is supposed to be humongous. You're living in this post-apocalyptic, oh, I can't even say it. Post-apocalyptic, that's the best way I'm going to say it, world where everything is destroyed, and then you are there fighting for your life, for all this robots taking over everything. And that's the world that you get? I'm sorry, but it needs a lot more. It needs a bit of an expansion, don't you think? Now, apart from all of that, I feel like the overweight limit system could also really be taken off. Why don't you have the exact same overweight limit that you have back in Hollow Realization? Now, whenever you have too much things, it automatically goes straight into the box at your home, so you're able to pick up and put some things away, instead of like having all these things and then you have to leave the dungeon to go put things away, to come back to fight the exact same enemies you fought already, making it even more frustrating on your end. Now, I do love the game. It's an amazing game, and Bandai really went out with it, and I feel like it's really good. They're using the Unreal 4 engine, using anime-based characters. You're living in a world where you're fighting with guns and created anime characters. It feels refreshing. It feels good. I enjoy it. It feels like it deserves more love and attention than what an average SAO game does, because it feels like a game where other games are, like Destiny, The Division. It's right there with it, but it could use a bit more tweaking, and I have no doubt when it comes to Bandai, because they've been improving more and more into their games little by little, and each of the DLCs from Hollow Realization felt good, had a new story, and felt unique, and I enjoyed it to its core, and I cannot wait to see the DLC for this game. But take these considerations and actually start fixing some things as well on these games. The AIs could use a bit more tweaking, like your partner can use a bit more of an intelligence, dumb down a little bit the intelligence of the enemies, and actually make the aiming on them feel like a player. Feel like you can actually fight. Have maybe like a difficulty settings where the difficulty depends on how your enemy aims. Like a normal maybe aims like an average person, while hard gives a bit more accurate, while professional gives you an unfair advantage, but you can still progress through. It's something that can be looked into and fight for. Now this game does have New Game Plus. I am not finished with this game, and I am willing to can't wait to just go back. I'm right now doing this video, and I am dying to just go in and start playing more again, because it's a good game. I enjoy it to its core. So many things to do, so many players to find, and so many players to play with. But the world in this game feels very, very alone. Like, I know I've talked how small the world is, but if you look into the hub world, it practically feels empty. There's like nothing to do, like no one to talk to. Maybe even add players in the world where you're able to actually communicate with, or maybe online avatars from around the world, be able to walk in your world, just walk around, have quests to do, maybe even things to do for you. And each of the items that they find, they can use it to trade for things that you can do for them. Let us make the quest for other players to fight in and have things to do. Like, for example, I have this sniper rifle. It's really powerful, and I want to use it for maybe to give a low-level player an advantage. Like, having this world where you make the quest for other players. Maybe some people don't have the time to play the game and they want all these materials. Let us create a quest where we can give reward to other players for doing quests for them and giving us the materials we need and we can use, while also using more materials and still gaining materials from the exact same quest. Let us make the game. Let us make the story. Let us fight. Make the online session free roam. Let us free roam around the hub. Let us explore the world as partners together, like how you did in Hollow Realization. And instead of just being in a room and then moving on to the world outside, how about adding the hub where you are able to communicate and you'll be able to walk around with your friends in a party to actually fight, going to fight bosses, going to actually do quests, go to explore the world, fight hidden dungeons, hidden guns, hidden things that no one else could do, like how they do in the anime. You have all this great potential, and there's so many things to do in the game. In Bandai, I know you can do it, because each Sword Arts Online installment, it's better than the other, and I know you guys can do it. You guys have this great potential to actually make this game feel alive. Add more players, add avatars to walk around the hub, and maybe even let us play around the world you created with other players. You can trade guild cards in order to actually communicate with each other. If you don't have no friends list, you can add them straight from the guild card to your friends list. Send them a friend request. Let us communicate with each other in order to put this world and make this world feel alive. Make this anime game where non-anime fans can just come inside and also have a blast. Actually say, this is the Sword Art Online that we want. I love the creativity you guys went to this game. I love the amount of customization that went into this game, and it's beautiful. It's very beautiful. Also, there's another thing I feel like you guys should start adding, and that is more player clothing. Not clothing that's already from the game itself. Like, I have Shinon's jacket outfit that was already from the anime, and then most of the outfits are just based off the characters, or to say the main characters already there. Add more unique outfits that to make your player your player. Your avatar, make it feel like it's you, not like characters that's already that was in the game, and I feel like that's something that can be added in the next update. And I know you guys are going to be adding more and more things and DLCs, maybe even patches and updates, but please, you can fix all of these and make the game we always wanted. You have this great potential, and I know you guys can do it. I have no doubt, but this is something that needs to be addressed, and this is something that I feel like you guys should start adding, fixing the AIs, making the hub world, making a proper online game if you want to be called yourself an MMORPG, because it just feels like just a normal RPG. And they also stated they wanted to focus on the single player, but once the single player is finished, the multiplayer is what people thrive to go to. And if the multiplayer isn't good, or if the multiplayer isn't fixed, then people are going to stop playing the game after they're done with the game. A good majority of people are not going to go completionist and complete everything. A lot of people will just automatically stop playing the game once they're done with what they were doing. And I feel like you guys could have that potential to be able to work on a single player and work on the multiplayer. There is a possibility you guys can do that. I've said everything I wanted to say, and I'm hoping this can actually get to Bandai, and I know they can actually fix this. I am just a fan who is giving my opinion, and I feel like there's many other people out there who feel the exact same way and want to see an improvement in this game. And I know you guys do. Because I am not the only one that's also suffering through this type, because the AI units can also be very stupid and very dumb, and then you're being overwhelmed by all these enemies while the AIs are trying to fight, and you're trying to fight another enemy, and they're all bombarding you and killing you in an instant, restarting what you're doing. Now this game isn't as hard as like what people always love to compare to Dark Souls. It isn't as hard, but it's hard in its own way. And that's something I feel like they can fix. They can definitely fix. You guys can fix the aiming a little bit, decrease the aim a little bit to make it feel more for controllers, and at the same time make it feel much more better, in my opinion. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for actually taking your time watching the video through. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel. I would really much appreciate it. And if you guys did enjoy it, please share it with Bandai and give me your opinions down in the comments below, seeing what things you want to see in this game to be improved, because I know there's a majority of people who really want to see this game improve, and I know you guys do. I am a big fan of the Sword Art Online series, and what thrived me for the Sword Art Online series is because it gave me that sensational feeling of fighting for loot, finding hidden things, and venturing into a world where I have never been, anime style. And I like that. I've always been a big fan for these type of games because I've always started off with Legend of Zelda and Metroid, and those two adventure games were my top favorite, and that's what thrived me to really enjoy Sword Art Online, because it gave me that Zelda feeling. While this game makes me feel like I'm playing Destiny and The Division combined together, one of the two best games back in 2013. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below your opinion about the game, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.